Hey guys. So as you can see, my books are packed up. I'm in the middle of moving, but I also mentioned I'm trying to do videos up to the time I actually leave. So this one I decided, since I did a video a while back reading a poem I wrote, I decided I'm going to read some more of my own original writing. And I hope you like it. If not, then feel free to shut this off and watch whatever other people watch. I'm going to read a few poems I wrote a while back, and again, I hope you like them. So, this first poem is called This Time It's Different, and this was part of like a marathon writing session I did where I just wrote several poems all at once. And usually when I write poetry, I kind of just write it when I'm in the zone, and then I'll write like 4 or 5 in just one go, and they're usually they're fine. I usually don't have to write a second draft. Usually I can get it done in just one draft. But anyways, this first poem is called This Time It's Different, and it goes like this. I sometimes still think about you, despite reason telling me I shouldn't. I sometimes still wonder how you're doing, when I know it's best left alone, and that I'm best alone. I confess more than once I've wondered what it'd be like if we crossed paths again, if we exchanged affection again, and did it all again, only different this time. When I'm out walking and these empty streets remind me of all the summer days and winter nights we had, I feel tempted to tempt you. Do you ever still think of me? Or is this just a one-man thing? Do you ever think back and laugh? Or am I laughing by myself? Do you fondly remember? Or do you think, what was I even thinking? Do you regret any of it? Or just certain parts like me? When the sun comes up and I've been up all night, I wonder if you thought of me lately, the way I seem to always be thinking of you. Or am I just deluding myself again? I read that one the last time, but I just wanted to kick this reading off with that one, because I like that one. Here's one I haven't read to you guys before. Again, part of that series where I just kind of wrote several at once. This one's called Old and Foolish. It goes like this. I used to walk to your house and let the cars splash me, and dry off on your back porch in the July sun in a lump of wet rags, while we told each other fairy tales that we both knew were untrue. We used to sit and talk all day and well into the night about what it'd be like to go somewhere far away from this town, about getting married someday, even if we knew it was only a dream. I've been living in the past with no thought of the future, because it's more fun to relive your youth than it is to be old and boring. And everything looks better when you only remember the good times and conveniently forget the bad, like how young and dumb I was, like how jealous and paranoid you were. But even bad times are better than none at all. Even now, I think about those days, and wonder if we could do that dance again. Wonder if you'd want to try once again. Now that I've lived a little, and learned a little, and understand human emotions, and we know what to expect. I've got one foot in the past, and the other in the here and now, living like a teenager with a little more wisdom, and endless time on my hands. Poem number 3. Sorry if these are really bad, by the way. I actually think they're really good, but I'm a little biased. These are my own writings. I think every artist is mostly partial to his or her work, and this is no exception for me. This poem's called Moonlight Waltz. The gazebo band strikes up a chord, and fireflies are unleashed on the night. A waltz under the summer moon for lovers and strangers to play romance, and just for a second find tenderness. Looking into each other's eyes, I wonder what you're thinking, slow dancing to this summer tune. If I were to ask you, would you really tell me, or just say what you think I want to hear? I see everyone I know in the crowd, and a lot of people I don't. The ghosts of those who lived in this town. Jesus is here with an entourage of saints, and the goddess of summertime in a dress. There's a lot I could say right now, but I know I never will. There's a lot you could tell me, but I know you'll never say. As the flower petals start to rain, I wonder what you're looking for in me, and what you think you'll find. Or if you're trying to find a little happiness, something to make up for years of misery. The song comes to an end and the conductor taps the stand, while the folk singers set up and the moon rises higher, and we make our way back to the crowd. I wonder how long this will last, how long you'll be with me, with all those things you keep to yourself, if you'll still be here come October. This is one, keeping with the theme of seasons, I wrote called December 2001. It's kind of a specific title. But anyways, it's kind of long, so bear with me. December 2001, it goes like this. That winter when the ice storm hit town, and the electricity died in every house here, when we'd sleep huddled together for warmth. Do you remember what we said in the dark? When we'd plan out our tomorrows, making maps of everything we dreamed. Sometimes I still feel that bed underneath me, still feel you in my arms, falling asleep. I feel my eyes sting with tears of what never was. I feel my heart overflow with all the things we never did. And looking back, it feels like our time was too short, when it felt like we had forever at the time. When I see someone who looks like you on the street, I feel a flicker of guilt for how young I was back then. I feel the ghost of you against my skin, giving me chills. I almost call your name in that moment of insanity, and then it all goes away like a robin on the sky, and I'm left feeling just as stupid as I felt years ago. Even now, on cold nights, I look out the window and watch the past play out against the glass, saying everything you said back to myself, and laughing at how blind and stubborn I could be. I'll watch us again and again in your mattress, wondering if the years treated you kindly. It's funny how you can go your whole life and experience so much and see so much, put as much distance between you as you can, only to have that one memory play out over and over. And you find that even if you let go, your memories never let go of you. This next one is a story poem. It's kind of an allegorical thing. It's called Maiden Voyage. And I've lived similar experiences to this, and this character is going through. Anyways, Maiden Voyage, and it goes like this. The morning dawned bright and full, and she'd managed to get to the riverside. Only thing left to do now was get going, so she pushed her boat out onto the water and let the current do the rest. She didn't care where she was going, just as long as it was anywhere but there. It'd long since been time to move on. She'd known it since she was 10, doing all she could to make it through the years, till enough was enough. Things had gone too far, when everyone tore the one she loved away. That had been the last string tying her here. Then she began building. She began building, working every night long after all eyes were asleep. Months sawing wood, hammering and sweating, reading books and looking at diagrams till she knew exactly what she was doing, and the rest was just hard work, till the night came when her effort paid off. Today was her last day in town, and she couldn't wait to get going. Anywhere had to be better than what was here. Somewhere where not everybody knew your business. Where she wasn't the lonely checkout girl. Where she wasn't the local weirdo, and she could bloom like some strange flower. She could see the town go by, waving goodbye to the old-timers and early risers, mouthing her goodbyes to the people who talked about her. Everyone watched her float by in a rainbow rowboat. All of them looked away in disgust. She watched them get smaller and smaller. This next poem I wrote is called The Last Evening, and it's somewhat inspired by fact and fiction. Actually, all of these are inspired by both real things as well as fictitious things. Sometimes they're based on actual experiences blended into fiction, and sometimes they're entirely stories with hints of truth thrown. But I feel a lot of writing is like that. Anyways, this is The Last Evening, and it goes like this. I remember standing on that hill we always used to stand on, watching the harvest moon bloom like an orange, swollen tumor. I remember you telling me that this was all a dream, and that we'd wake up soon, and we'd be strangers again. Anything could happen right then. I could sense the future closing in. Looking out where the lights were, I could see your car parked lonely. You used to tell me you loved me. That was in another life. You'd tell me you were an artist, but I never saw you paint. You asked me what I'd do when all this was over, and the seasons changed. For once, I didn't have an answer. As the moon got higher and the ending closed in, I began to hum your favorite tune till you said it wouldn't do any good. You told me you were a being without form, blowing on the wind. At that moment, I became one too. Let's see. There's another one I could read for you guys. Oh, here's one I wrote even further back this year. I wrote it back in the summer. It's called Dock of the Lake. Dock of the Lake. It goes like this. The dandelions grow by the light of the moon, while I watch the years peel away, like clothes outgrown and childhood toys abandoned. Meantime, the wind blows a kiss to me and ruffles my hair the way a sad, dead man used to. I watch the water ripple on the lake and wonder where she and her went. As we got older, started to live our own lives, I used to wish for a second chance. Now I just wish for a guiding sign. When the lights in the house go out, that's when I can finally shed this suit and swim in freedom, diving headlong, watching memories in the present mingle, while you stay on my mind like an angel on my shoulder. I have a whole person inside of me that they'll never see, layers that they'll never know, and they'll go to sleep in the dark never knowing the things I said and did and felt as a free man when they thought I was still a little boy. These quiet sounds make me relive a past life, summers spent in her arms in education and desire, nights spending time learning what others knew, getting the facts they don't teach in school, and walking in the lonely shadows. I could spend the whole night out here, could even sleep under these stars. Don't even need my music with me, being that secret self far from their eyes, letting my freak flag fly for a little while. I'm sorry if these are really boring. I've never read these out loud before. They're interesting to actually speak them. This is another one I wrote even further back, towards the end of spring, early summer of this year. And it's interesting. It's a very weird one for me, and probably a little more personal than the others. Then again, all my writing's very personal. Anyways, this poem is called I Said All That to Say This. I said all that to say this. Here it goes. Even though we're often separate, you and me are always closer than anyone I know. After all our shared experiences, after all the shared history with those who didn't exactly fit. I thought I'd found this before with others before you, but you show me every day. Show me I didn't know best friends before. Like the sea rolling on the shore, like the sky meeting the trees, you and me are kindred spirits, even though there's no such thing as spirits. And I can talk about my neurotic ideas and know you'll still be there. I thought I'd found someone like you time and time again before, but I've never known anyone else I could discuss the conspiracy government with. The years of getting myself together, and the scars and unspoken pain and the silent observations have been in preparation for us. For us to be besties, and our shared oddness is a breath of fresh air. And I know I could go all the way to the edge of the world and to the furthest end of myself, and you'd still understand what I'm thinking. You'd perfectly get where I'm coming from when I say I'm tired of houses full of salmon, and we could howl to the moon together. Okay, one more, and I promise I'll stop bothering you guys. So this is more of an absurdist one I wrote. I do write kind of comedic ones as well as the more serious ones. This one's called Neighborhood Trees. I hope you like it. It's a little weirder and a little less serious. So I thought I'd end on a more upbeat, absurdist note. I wrote this back in March. And it goes something like this. Climbing down from my cross, deciding it doesn't matter. And so what if it did? Deciding I'd rather eat bread and jam. Now I spend my time sleeping through days and riding through the air at night, only to fall back to earth on the neighbor's lawn. They have no idea how lucky they are to be fish walking around, never opening their eyes, not knowing the color purple is a myth. And despite what they say, I never left myself abandoned on the grass, letting my fluids drip and my tires go flat. I was around all these years. So that's how that was. It's a weird little short, absurdist one. But anyways, those are some poems I wrote earlier this year. They haven't been published. Some of them I posted on my Tumblr page, but they haven't officially been published in a magazine. Although I'm hoping to one day self-publish a book of poetry and include a bunch of them in there. And most likely the ones I read to you guys. So anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I hope you liked my writing. I hope it wasn't boring, or that you shut this off before I even started reading it. But for those who like poetry and hopefully like my poetry, I plan on doing some more of these as time goes on. I don't know when I'll post the next video of me reading poetry, but hopefully it'll be soon. So thanks for watching, and will see you guys in the next one.